everybody, all the way from Costa Rica, joined with two of the best human beings that God ever put on this planet, Jamie, Susie, and Mr. Danny Young. So grateful for them to be joining today. We are down here at the Symmetry Destinations. This is the 2019 qualifiers. Let me add, probably be the last time that Jamie does not ever qualify for an SFG Destinations. We certainly are fired up about having her on every single vacation we're going to be taking moving forward with this company. But Danny and I are down here right now in Costa Rica. Over behind my left shoulder is just the most unreal scene. Beaches, canopy, monkeys are playing in the trees. As you know, Symmetry loves to get out and do a lot of fear bonding. So we've got surfers, we've got kayakers, we've got paddle boarders, we've got snorkelers. And Danny, I think you're going base jumping later on. Is that correct?
Yeah, twice.
I'm so grateful for Danny to be here with us, guys. If you've not been on a Symmetry Destinations trip before, you know that Danny takes his association very serious. He and Sandy get a reservation at the pristine restaurant that's right front and center, and they do not move for 6 days. They have a constant flow of people that want to connect and want to do some coaching, talk about life, talk about business. So Danny, for you to come up and leave your posted up spot and booth today, we appreciate that, buddy.
Hey, my pleasure, man. It's going to be a good call. I can't wait to hear it, Jamie.
I knew you were taking it serious when I was having breakfast myself at 9:30 this morning, and Sandy was down there by herself.
Yeah, she was holding court. You know, I had to get ready for this. I had to get my game face on, and this is the best I could do. That's sad.
Oh, well, guys, this is going to be the builder's call portion. We'll do the builder's call. We're going to talk to Jamie. Then we're going to roll in, do some leaderboards. We're going to do a few announcements. We will not be doing promotions this week. As most of you know, Brandon and Casey, if at all possible, like to be present and love to be a part of promotions announcements. And since they couldn't be on today, they're going to join us and have those promotions all be announced next week. So I didn't want anybody to think that they missed a portion, but we look forward to getting those all to the well-deserved next week. But today, let's start it off with Miss Jamie. If you have not heard this individual speak, you're in for a treat. I've asked her to do a little bit of a twist today to talk a little bit about her personal story, because a lot of you do not know Jamie or have been able to meet her just quite yet. But I can promise you there's nobody in this organization that does not know what her and her agency have been doing over the course of the last 2 years. Currently at 115, on the way to 120, and doing so at a pace that this company has never seen before. John Ziller, I believe, was the record holder for the fastest to 120 for quite some time. And it does appear that Miss Jamie will be the one to break that record, hopefully here in just a couple short months. So what you're going to see here is an individual that leads with extreme passion. She has a huge heart. Her ability to reach down and pull the goodness out of others is truly a gift unlike many have ever experienced. She has a very sharp business mind, a drive that is relentless, and just continues to be a bright light that if you've not plugged into before, I highly recommend you listen and take notes today. So, Jamie, thank you so much for coming on today and being willing to share with us.
I have to say that was the nicest intro ever, Todd. Thank you, Danny. Thank you. I can't believe you guys are in Costa Rica right now. I'm not jealous at all. It is fine. Your backgrounds look fine. They're all worried about their lighting, and if you guys could see the beach behind them, we don't feel bad for you. But thank you. Thank
we
you
miss you, but we know that we got a spot for you here in the next trip for next year.
Well, I am grateful and excited for that. I definitely will be there with you guys, and just so grateful for this entire company. I'm Jamie Susie. Thank you for the intro. I'm direct to Sarah Reinecke, Jacob Pogue, Marshall Whalen, Feel so lucky and just grateful to have landed where I did. I'm grateful for Brandon, Brian, and Casey just for creating this incredible company that we just all get to be a part of and benefit from. So thank you to you guys. Hopefully they're out wakeboarding or doing something fun right now. But Todd, I want to share my story because I think so much of this business is growth, right? We're a leadership development company. We happen to sell insurance, but so many of the things we learn and where we end up is because of what we did to grow there. So I want to start off and just kind of share my highlight reel. And a highlight reel, kind of like social media, right? It's the things you want people to hear. It's the story you tell, kind of like your elevator pitch, maybe to get somebody interested in joining your business, to get them intrigued about you. But it's kind of small clips just about your life, and usually the good clips. So my story is my highlight reel, I should say, is my first chapter. I worked as a nurse. I was a nurse for 11 years. I worked at the cardiac ICU at Boston Children's Hospital. I was born and raised in Boston. So I talk fast, I build a business fast, I fall in love fast, I do things very quickly, I drive fast. But what I did in that first chapter is I took care of babies who were born with or who had acquired heart disease. And after having babies of my own, the work-life balance was off. So I jumped into the network marketing industry. And that's where I fell in love with becoming an entrepreneur. And I fast forward through a little bit in that journey. I went through a divorce. I moved cross country. I started several other business ventures. My friend introduced me to Symmetry. I remarried. I had a baby and I kept moving. Okay. We had agency owner here in 11 months. June of 2020 was my first month here in the field. We had agency owner in 11 months. Agency director within 2 years. We have an agency on pace for 400,000 this month with over 70 writing agents. We're at 115% contract level. We have the most SNAs in the company, and we have the shortest time for new writers to pop out from when they get opt credentials in the company. All that sounds so good, right, Todd? Right, Danny? It all sounds awesome, but here's the thing. People hear these highlight reels all the time. They're exciting, they're intriguing, they get people interested. People say, Jamie, you're all over the boards. What are you doing so fast? Teach me how to build. Teach me how to do the things that you're doing. But here's what we do here. We grow. You hear Danny talk about this all the time. We are a leadership development company. It's through the growth, it's through the development, it's through the struggle. And it's those stories, Todd, that there's always more to. So what I want to do for you guys today is I want to break down where I came from, because we're a leadership development company, and knowing a little bit more of my background and my story will give you an understanding of why our agency looks like it does right now. Okay. And it's through the struggle. It's through the struggle, which leads to growth. Or not, right? Some people just get stuck and they never continue moving because they've never made a decision to do that. I remember I missed a promotion and Danny said, good. I'm like, good? Sarah and I called him, we're like, we missed a promotion. He says, good. Struggle comes, that's part of the game here. Ryan Miller told me he missed the promotion before too. Jacob told me it's normal to miss promotions. And that struggling and going through the roller coaster, there are highs and there are lows, but it's what you do to get through that. So backing up in my story for you guys today, I worked originally as a nurse. I worked 12-hour shifts, nights, weekends, holidays. I had 2 babies at home at the time. And I had a very unsupportive spouse back then, and he did nothing to help me at home. So I would work this 12-hour shift, saving lives, taking care of other sick babies while my kids were at home and I wasn't able to take care of them because this is what I did for a living. Now, I loved what I did, but was struggling at home, knew that I would go home to a hurricane of a mess, knew that I had to go home and pick up those pieces. That was my life at the time. And I remember thinking, is this what my life is going to be like forever? Is this the life that I really chose? Is this what I want to settle for? So I'm battling with that at the time, back when I was working as a nurse. So I didn't know at the time that joining this network marketing industry in 2014 was going to be my first step in a journey that led me here to Symmetry. Okay. There was passive income. I got to own my schedule, own my time, build confidence. We were really big there on personal development. So I would read the books and I learned how to lead people through that journey. And then in 2016, while I was thriving in that network marketing business, my personal life was crashing down. And these are parts of highlight reels that we don't always share within our life because it's not attractive. It's not the thing you want to put on social media, but it's relatable to a lot of people because we all go through life, right? Life is going to hit us. We don't know when it's coming, but it's going to happen at some point, and it's what you do to get through that. In 2016, I felt like I hit rock bottom. I went through a very quick, very messy, very expensive divorce. And it was the first time in my life that I truly felt like failure hit me in the face. I was failing in this moment with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old baby. And I didn't know what my life was going to look like next. How was I going to pay those bills on my own by myself? And how was I going to figure this out? So during this time, what were my options? Was I going to lay in the fetal position and cry? Was I going to feed my kids their next meal? Was I going to keep moving because that's what I needed to do to get to the next place? And here's what my mom would always say to me, Jamie, just keep swimming. It's going to lead you to where you need to go. You can do hard things. It became my motto, 2016 through now. I still say it all the time, but that's where a lot of growth came from. So my personal growth as a business owner gave me the courage to make a change in that moment. So in 2017, I moved cross country. I moved from Boston to Arizona. People are like, what is a Boston girl doing in the desert now? But my mom lived here. The sun shines every day. My business at the time was virtual, so I could move it. So I took my kids and moved to the West Coast, which is a huge decision that led me to the next thing, right? I read the books. I listened to the podcasts. I turned off the news. Here's the part, like lots of growth through this journey, right? I grew my mind and I opened myself up to taking that next pivot. What was my life going to look like next? I opened up I'd say my heart and my mind at a chance at love again. And that's where I met Corey, who is now my husband, my forever husband, never doing that again. But he's also my business partner, my biggest support. I moved and grew to find the right person for me. So at this point now, that network marketing company started to flatline. So I was searching for something else. What is Jamie going to do next that's going to afford us the lifestyle that we wanted? And here's what I did. I tried business coaching. That's where I met Sarah Reineke. I took time away from my family to fly to Utah, which cost a lot of money. It took me away from my kids. It was too much at the time and not what I wanted to do forever. Lead generation, if you've ever had to find your own leads, it's hard. Running appointments when clients are available and not based on your schedule, that's hard. I tried another network marketing company. It didn't work. I started a med spa. I started a aesthetics business where I did dermal fillers and Botox, and I thought, this is it. I'm using my nursing license. And then I realized I don't want to do that either. Appointment based. I have to be there. I went into debt. It wasn't for me. So here's what happened when I consciously sat down to kind of think about my story. What I wanted to share with you guys is my growth, my struggles. Every time I hit a roadblock, every time I became frustrated, every time something got hard, I found what I call fuel, right? I found that fire in my belly. I found that grit to push through for one more thing. What's the thing that's going to lead me where I need to go, that's going to propel me further in my life? What is that thing? Which is where Symmetry comes in. It was March of 2020, Sarah Reineke sent me a message on Facebook that said, hey, I think we're going to sell insurance. And I thought, that sounds terrible, but I'm in. What do we need to do? And this was also the start of the pandemic. You guys all know what happened in March of 2020. The whole world shut down. At this time, I'm 5 months pregnant. I have 3 other kids, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. They're virtually learning. I was never meant to be a homeschool teacher ever. My husband's working full-time in education, 80-hour weeks, trying to figure out how to make Symmetry work. We would spend our afternoons and our weekends when Corey was home finding things for us to sell in our home so I could pay for leads. I spent an insane amount of time trying to figure out my schedule. How do I master my schedule? When do I dial? What does this look like? How do I recruit and sell and be a mom and a wife and figure all this out? How do we manage to have 3 kids while home, while pregnant? Who's going to help with this baby when I can produce and need to pay these bills? We said no to a lot of things when that started. And this was a huge struggle point for me. But based on my story and my background, I'd already been through so much that this was just the next thing that I needed to make a decision on, that I needed to figure out. I found mentorship. Jacob Hogue, stick it out till you figure it out. People in this company had already done the things that I knew association was a huge part, and mentorship was going to help move me forward. And then, guys, like all of us go through, I started to get it. I managed my schedule. I managed my time. I invested in leads. I set appointments. I started selling policies. I started hiring people, and I learned to meet them where they're at based on their goals. I followed the system of Symmetry. I promoted one promotion at a time. I didn't get lost in the details. I didn't overthink it. I just did it. And this was the change and the growth that I needed to build confidence to build this business. So in September of 2020, I missed a promotion, and my friend Sarah didn't. For me, that was a struggle point. I have this self-admitted FOMO. I mentioned it before. It's the fear of missing out. And it's a saying people use, but for me, it's 100% real. The thought of me being left behind was what I viewed when I missed that promotion, and it hurt. I decided in that moment that I was going to work harder than I had in the past. That's what I call fuel. So what's the fire that's in your belly that's going to make you move? Maybe it's your why. Maybe it makes you cry. Mine didn't. Mine makes me move. It makes me work. And then I just kept doing the things we're taught to do. Invest, run appointments, sell policies, sit with 10 families. Repeat. Recruit. Repeat. I filled the boxes that Casey talks about all the time. Recruit and produce. The rest is just noise. Danny taught me to get those blinders on Amazon, those horse blinders that dull out the noise, and you focus on you and yours and what you need to do to move forward. And then we hit agency owner. And then we had a snapshot dispute. And then we found missing business, which meant we promoted. Fuel. We were working hard towards that next promotion. And then I heard it in there, the Symmetry trip in 2021. Fuel. In August of 2021, I met Danny. And he helped me take this 10,000 foot view of my business and see where it was at that time. And he told me about the roads ahead paved in gold. And if I do enough of the right things and I get on it and I stay on it, that I soon wouldn't recognize my life. Told me to build, told me to produce, told me to grow. That was growth. In 2021, our agency issued $580,000 in premium. And in 2022, right now, we're on pace to do $2.75 million. Growth. So the point of me telling you guys my story is in hopes that you understand that all of us have situations and moments of struggle. And it's how you respond to the struggles which determine what your future here is going to look like. I chose to use mine as fuel, and that fuel keeps driving me, which leads to growth. Andrew Jimenez said it on stage, when you're born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your choices. And my life looks the way it does right now because of the choices I made during those years of struggle. So define your heart, find your struggle, live in it, and do one of two things. Stay there forever or move, right? Move your feet, find your fuel, find what it is that fires you up that's going to help you make a decision to take the next step. Because I'm telling you, you're going to look back a year from now and you could have a completely different life. The person you are today, and this is just straight from Danny Young, the person you are today is not the person you're going to be 5 years from now. Okay? Your work, your mentorship, the struggle, the growth. I promise you, as hard as you may think your story is, I would have worked 1,000 times harder if I knew what it would be like to be here at Symmetry right now. So I know this is a builder call, I know what you guys want. Oh my gosh, what is Jamie doing? What are the tips that she can give me to build an agency like she has? My tips are get real with your story, get real with your struggle, get real with what decisions you made that are going to help you take the next step to move forward. Because building here, it's a decision. I'm not the best recruiter. I just attract people that want to come into this business based on the story that I've lived, the confidence I've gained, the growth, the struggle, all the fuel that I've had attracts people to want to join you in business. So I don't know if you have questions for me, Danny or Todd, to something specific that you want to know about building, but I promise for everyone listening that it's gonna be a decision you make that helps you move to the next step.
Danny, I don't know that either one of us want to touch that, but
No, I can't top that at all. No.
Jamie, I can tell you a couple of things that I get asked all the time about your team and your agency and Reineke and what you guys are doing. That's just so unbelievable. But in the throes of doing personal production, recruiting, mentoring, reaching out to others, and finding personal self-development, how do you do that all in one day? How do you keep the main thing? And what are some tips that you would recommend for a new agent that's finding trouble having enough time in the day to get everything accomplished they need to get accomplished?
Yeah, I love when people tell me they're busy, Todd. I love it so much, but it's just an excuse. I mean, I have 4 kids. They're all in 2 different schools. One of them's in diapers. One of them's in student council. Like we have a very busy life, but you find the things that are the most important to you and keep those in front of you. And for me and for Corey, the most important thing was getting to the top of this thing and bringing other people with us. So we put our blinders on, we dull the noise, which is not always easy to do because again, life is going to happen, but keeping the main thing. So in a day, managing your schedule is number 1. And that was really hard for me in the beginning. Get yourself a calendar. Time blocking is huge. Sarah Reineke and I teach our agency this all the time. It is so important for you to own your day and not be too reactive. Otherwise, you'll just go to bed exhausted and feel like you didn't get anything done because you didn't. You just reacted to all the fires. And how you grow here is obviously the level you grow yourself, but it's the amount of people that you can deal with in any given day that get you to the top, right? So keeping the main thing. I mean, little tips to that: manage your schedule, turn off the news, stop watching TV, listen to the podcast, read the books, talk to the people who are where you want to be. I mean, one of our 4 cornerstones is association. Find the people that are where you want to be and connect with them. They will help show you, like Danny has to me, like Jacob has to me, that the roads here are paved in gold if you stay on them. So that's managing your schedule, number 1. And then just make the decision. I'm making a decision that this is where I'm planting my flag. I made a decision and I'm going to keep moving my feet in the system that are going to help me win. And that system, like Casey talks about, are the 2 boxes: interviews, policies, interviews, appointments. The rest is noise. After 2 years here, I still don't have a Symmetry signature because I couldn't figure it out and it wasn't an important detail at the time. That's okay. You can still move in the direction of where you want to go.
So good. So good. And I would say another thing that is so apparent in so many of our successful agencies that are growing, like Jamie's and Corey's, and it's just it's this element of connection and realizing that we as humans seek out and crave being a part of community. We have since the beginning of time. That looks different for everybody, right? You don't have to be a very social person. Doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be in the spotlight or that you seek to have 50 phone conversations a day. But at some basic level, we as humans are always seeking some type of community and connectivity. Any type of advice or things that you do in your own organization to make sure that everybody feels the support and love, and that everybody can continue to row in the right direction?
Yeah, I think there's connection is in relationships. I mean, core value, relationships matter, people come first. Is having those conversations and setting those almost expectations when you start talking to your agents the second you hire them. I want to help you move forward. What is it that you're looking to get out of this? What do you want here? Become really good at asking questions, and then you learn how to kind of move people based on what they want. And this is, I see a lot of people not mature enough in leadership, almost just to want people to move based on what you want, not what they want. So making the connection, getting real with what it is they're looking for. And then if you see something great, we celebrate all the time. We celebrate new writers. We celebrate SNA. We celebrate people winning. We activate people quickly, which is why our numbers are reflective of what they're at, because we get them moving. And who doesn't love to be celebrated? Everyone wants to be part of a winning team. So a couple of ways to do that are recognition. Posts in whatever agency app you use. Social media is a great way to celebrate people. It shows the network that they're winning, and that's attractive. We also do grateful messages. This kind of became a thing when Sarah and I found ourselves in maybe a pit of despair. Our conversations were not as positive as they should have been. And we said, you know what, let's start sending grateful messages every morning before we do anything else. Let's pick 5 people that are on our hearts that day and send a voice memo via text. And here's the thing, it's free to love on people. It doesn't cost any money. There was no lead credit. There's no pushing to do that. It's just who's on your heart that day, and tell them why you're grateful, whether they're in this business or not. That is going to change the whole trajectory of your day and how you treat people moving forward, and then how they view you. I don't know about you, but when Jacob does that to me or Danny sends a nice message, I don't want to ever disappoint them. It's going to make me work even harder because people are noticing me. So kind of goes hand in hand. Have your hand up. Let your mentor know that you're there and you're working. And then as a mentor, let your people know that you're grateful for them, because your business is not your business without your people. That's my tip for that.
Can I say something about her, Todd, just for a second?
Absolutely.
One of Jamie's strengths that I see, and I mean, I've only known her for a year, okay, but I've watched her, and look, I don't think I've ever seen anybody that is as excited about every single thing she does every day. She's excited about taking her kids to school. She's excited about getting coffee. She's excited to getting back home. It's just everything she does with an openness and an excitement that attracts people. You know, if you're going to walk around never smiling, mully grubbing, you know, looking like you're on your last leg, you know, you're not going to attract many people. She is, if you want to build something, you have to become attractive. And I don't mean in a looks way. You have to look like you're going somewhere. And she always looks like she's going somewhere. People follow her on social media. They know where she was a year ago. She gets probably 4, 5, 6 people a week now that are asking about getting in her business because she has posted all of these things on social media. And it's not, hey, come sell insurance. It's all about life. It's about, you know, I retired my husband, you know, my kids are doing this and we get to do this. And it's one of her gifts, you know, but it's also something you're not born with. It's not a talent. It's a skill. You can learn to be a happy person. You can learn to smile when you don't feel like it. And that's what she does. And that's a big part of why she's where she is now, what she has now. So, you know, we need more people like her, man. That's what we need.
Thank you, Danny. That was so nice.
Oh, I love it, Amy. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us today. And we can't wait to see you at the very top of this company, and just being able to have a little bit of a personal relationship with you and hearing the excitement you have. It's not anything to do with hitting the top contract in the company. You want to talk about where it is, the people that you brought on this journey and where their lives are going to be and what that's going to look like for them in the next 12 to 24 months. And to me, that's what it's all about. You continue to do the right things in this business, and you continue to see the results and what it means to truly make an impact. And as Danny says, change some lives. So Jamie,
Right.
You do that. So grateful for you Jamie's gonna hang out with us guys here for the national call. She's gonna be ready. I think I might call on her to do a leaderboard for me so I can take a break in between. And guys, if you've got a couple questions, I've seen a few. Jamie will try to get a couple of answers there in the chat while we're going through this as well. But Jamie, we just appreciate you so much and grateful for the leadership and just know that you make an impact on this company, not just your own organization, and looking forward to a bright future with you, buddy.
Thank you. Same. You're the best. You guys are awesome. And I'll help you with any leaderboards you need help with. I got my game on strong to read those.
Nice. Nice. Well, everybody, welcome to the national call portion. And if you missed it, please catch it on the recording. An awesome segment with Miss Jamie Susie Ninneber. Can it help me? It only took me a year to get Susie right. So
I know it's fine. Neighbor, like your knee and your neighbor. Our first date, I'm like, how do you say your last name? But here we are.
The neighbor.
Close enough.
And looking forward to spending and hanging so much more with your husband as well as in the business, and just grateful. So guys, we're coming to you live today from Costa Rica. Danny, can you pronounce it yet? Peninsula Papagayo?
No, I've called it Corpus Christi about 4 times. So no, I'm not your guy.
We in fact are not in Texas, but we are.
I don't even know where we are. That's what's bad about me. I have no idea. I got a plane brought me here.
Everybody should check it out. We are at Symmetry Destinations Trip. It's an all-inclusive, all expenses paid, 4 seasons resort. Peninsula Papagayo is, I believe, the name. It's just absolutely incredible. Not to talk about the beauty of where we're at, the beaches, the canopy, the rainforest, the activities that we're all getting to do together. We've been on several catamaran cruises, snorkeling from sun up to sundown. We've had extremely competitive volleyball games on the beach. And I guess I'd have to say, Danny, that you always told me this back when I was building an agency myself, but these trips are life-changing, not just for the opportunity to see things in the world that you probably never had seen before or imagined you would, but the type of association you get on these trips, Danny, and the opportunity to be around 200 of the top leaders in the organization, personal producers, agency owners, agency directors, all the way up to spending time having a fresh coconut water yesterday with Marshall Whalen, and just having him pour into my life for a few minutes. And you just can't replace those types of things. So Danny, I know you've experienced a lot of these over the years, buddy. What's most special to you about these?
Well, back when I had a regular job like 100 years ago, a vacation to us, Todd, was going to the brown sands of Biloxi, Mississippi, with our styrofoam chest with our Czech cola in it, and our motel room key was attached to a tire rim so you wouldn't steal it. Okay, that was a vacation. That was like a 2-day thing that we would take the kids and have a picnic on the beach and tell them how awesome life was. It's astonishing, these places. I mean, we have been to so many places because of Symmetry. And look, a lot of y'all have traveled, but until you travel to places like this on somebody else's dime, you haven't traveled. Okay, when you got to worry about what it's going to cost when you check out, that's not a good vacation. Okay, hoping your card clears when you check out so they'll let you go home. But this place is astonishing. I'm telling you, it is. I'm in my room right now, and I'm looking out through the back doors, and I don't know, Todd. I don't know if that is the Pacific Ocean that I can see, or if it's the Caribbean Sea. It's one or the other, okay? Because you can go out by the pool, and you can look to the right, and you can see one of them, and it's 50 yards away, and you can look to the left, and there's the other one. Now, here's what I don't know which one it is. Okay, it's one of those. They're both here. I know this. It's not the Mississippi River. Okay, that's what I'm used to looking at. It's not the muddy Mississippi. It's absolutely freaking gorgeous. The food is unbelievable, but you're exactly right. I think the most important thing, besides the fact that this is a place that a lot of there's what 250 something of us here from Symmetry. This is a place that probably a big portion of those people. I know they've never been here, but you're right. I don't think they would have ever had a chance to come here, but you can through this company. Okay. But the association, look, I watch people sitting around talking, because this starts early in the morning, Todd, and it ends early the next morning with people just sitting around talking with each other, people they've seen on Zoom, or they've heard them talk. They've never met them, but they get to sit with them and talk for hours on end if they want to, but there are people this weekend that are meeting some people, building a relationship with those people, and that relationship will last a lifetime. Nothing like it, just nothing like it anywhere. So anyway, buddy, I'm fired up to be here.
I think you couldn't have summed it up any better, buddy. And I believe we're trying to make it stick that the Pacific side is the snorkel shop side. That's what we're using for the code word. Snorkel shop side means Pacific side on the ocean. It's just absolutely incredible, guys. When you're staying somewhere where you have to be clear on which beach it is that you're going to, it's within a 5-minute walk of your hotel room. It's just, you just can't describe it. So we say all this, guys. We're going to get into it with Danny in just a few minutes. We're going to go through some leaderboards, just also to let you know that Brandon and Casey are down associating and hanging out with some of our top leaders right now. They do not like missing promotions if at all possible. So in standard tradition, we're going to do all promotions for those well-deserved all next week. So be sure you're tuning in, have your teams tune in, have mom and them, as Danny would like to say, join the call next week so that you can see all those awesome promotions that are going across the company. But Julie, if you will, I think we're going to play a quick video before we get into some leaderboards.
Man, where does the time go? Oh no. No, Philip, I'm coming. No, please, no, please, no, please. No.
If you still have a digital pet, then it's time to invest in life insurance. With Quility Level Term, you can get your policy approved and delivered in 10 minutes or less.
Jamie, did you have a digital pet?
Did I have what?
A digital pet?
Nope. Sure didn't.
No?
Nope. Too old for that.
Danny had 17 of them.
Come on.
I didn't
Killed
even know
them all.
they existed. I didn't know they existed till I just saw that video.
Oh,
I don't get out
from the
much.
marketing. Some of that social media content, some of the commercials they've got rolling out, guys, that you're going to see on even broader platforms. We've all talked about the exciting partnerships like the NFL Alumni Association. We're partners with Walmart. We're partners with Commerce Bank, so many more. You're going to start seeing more and more of that awesome content on so many platforms. So stay tuned, and much love to all of the videography team and the marketing teams behind the scenes that work so hard on that stuff. So let's dive into some national leaderboards. See if I can do this.